All right, what is going on YouTube? It is Santino here from the YGO process with Roberto from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Sports Center coming from his page. We're going to be going over another round one feature match from the Tournament of Power that is currently going on. We have got Elijah Green coming from Kentucky. Elijah Green is a YCS champion. He topped YCS Charlotte. He's a very decorated player who's up and coming recently, making his claim with that first YCS. Like I say, he comes from very good locals out in Kentucky, going up against Andres Espinosa, correct? And Andres Espinosa is a very well-known player. If you play in the Southeast region, he's from Florida, I believe Fort Lauderdale or the Miami area. Andres has got second place for the YCS, and I believe a few other tops. And he is very prolific in Florida. You've probably seen him a lot at regionals and traveling to a few other events. So this is surely to be a very good round one feature from both of these two Power Pack players.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be a good match. I don't see why it wouldn't. Two top players. Elijah Green coming off a recent YCS win last year, and Andreas being Andreas. So we'll
like I say, Elijah having that YCS win is very good. We've also heard great things from him from other events. I play Andres all the time at regionals and other local Florida events, and he's always a formidable opponent whenever you sit down in front of him. Definitely not a pushover by any means, and he certainly makes his claims whenever you do play him. It's always going to be a very interesting match. I'm just excited to see what both of these players are playing. Again, I know that Elijah, don't recall what he was potentially playing. I know both of these players were at YCS Philadelphia, but with the ban list being in effect, it's certainly to change a few things up. So definitely interested to see what strategies both of these two have taken.
All right, well, let's jump into it.
Seeing the rock, paper, scissors, Andres appears to have won the first rock, paper, scissors. I assume he's going to be electing to go first, which he does. And it appears that he is on, I think this is a Sprite variant. Interesting. Adventure Sprite variant going up against Elijah Green's Cash Tira. So Elijah Green sticking with the old faithful, old reliable. A lot of people assuming this deck is, not going to be doing well after the hits, but it has still got a lot of power behind it with everything that's within its arsenal. So definitely excited to see how this match goes with Andres winning the die roll. Let's go ahead and see what he decides to do.
Let's get it.
All right, so going in the main phase, he starts with the special summon Fenrir. Again, you're going to be seeing a bunch of this card in every deck. Still, it's literally a Panker top, but better. Special summon, get a free search. It's so good. The free add of Water Enchantress and dump of Water Enchantress off of the Fateful Adventure will allow him to get Right of a Remisir, which I assume will go ahead and use Fenrir afterwards to go ahead and search out the next Fenrir, since we know the opponent does not have Droll and Lockbird anymore. Leading with the Right of a Remisir, we're going to be able to get a special summon, which will prompt the Fateful Adventure to allow us to get the Draco back from the deck.
Alrighty, then I'm happy to see him on the adventure package. I feel like people went away from it, like it wasn't good anymore.
Well, it was very brutal to play into the, of course, the Cashier Arise Heart. Banish the Arise Heart to turn your whole engine off.
Yeah.
But with the Faithful here, we're going to be able to see the Souls, which is an amazing card. Send probably the Draco back and Fateful Adventure to the grave, or Double Cross, I guess, in this instance. But it will be met with Infinite Impermanence, which is a pretty strong impermanence here. Showcasing, again, he doesn't really have too many boards he can make with the monsters he has currently. So we're going to see a Dark and then a link into Spren, which is okay, pretty good, pretty good.
Not mad at that.
Double of Angler will allow him to get 2 more nimble monsters. Probably sees Double Beaver here coming from the deck. Unfortunately, the Thrust is dead, considering the only hand trap he had was an Impermanence.
Yeah, that's the sucky part about that.
But we're still going to be able to see Andres do some pretty good plays here. With the leading to Gigantic, and more than likely going to be able to get I believe, Jet or a Blue from the deck, which will probably get the Jet.
So what are your thoughts on Sprite this upcoming format?
I think Sprite is going to be in a very good position. I believe that this is going to be another engine-based deck. I don't see this deck being a standalone contender, But this deck, with how Andres is piloting it with the potential adventure package, the runic sprite variations, the runic sprite fur hire variations, I believe it's going to be a very, very formidable deck, considering that a lot of the previous meta is not at full power, which kind of plagued this deck in an instance. But again, even with the hand traps and not even the best hand, we're still able to see Andres end on some form of a board. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to be pretty good. Same with Cashier. I do not believe Cashier is going to be hindered in the slightest. I think that it's got to knock away from a little bit of the ignorance it could potentially do, but you're still going to be able to see a lot of great things come from Cashier. As we see Elijah here start off with a pot of prosperity, which I've always preached in Cashier. It might as well be an extender. The extra deck monsters you get to equip for a Rise Heart off of this card are just obscene. And so like it's literally, it does so much for the deck. It gets you an extender, and it literally puts down amazing cards like Garura and Natis, Goliath, all these great cards you get to put underneath the Rise Heart. We're going to see him start off with the summon of Rise Heart himself to banish a Fenrir and banish the top 3 of Andres' deck, prompting no response. Let's see, with the Birth and the Theosis in hand, it's looking like Elijah's in a pretty good position.
Pretty solid hand. All right.
Chain of Starter on Resolution. One likely prompt a summon of, let's see, I can imagine here.
It's been a while since we've seen Sprite, so it kind of died off last format. Now it's back.
There was actually some Sprite players of Philadelphia not doing too bad.
Oh, okay. So, it was some out there. It's one of those decks that can't make it through so many rounds, but now I think it's back.
I know with Andres, he went a lot to summon Carrot, assuming the banish off of Fenrir would have prompted a more of a spell-oriented kind of follow-up, which he was correct about. But with Birth and Theosis coming from Elijah, it's just very, very hard to stop. Again, it's just like you got to kind of pick your poison here. You could stop the Theosis, which he chose to do. Now he's just going to be able to birth back another monster.
And he has that triple tactics in his hand.
Just bringing back the Fenrir. Fenrir going to be able to trigger to search another one. And then getting that normal summon off of Birth. Birth is just such a good card.
It's like this deck never got touched.
Entering battle phase. Again, you're going to see an attack from Fenrir here, prompting the effect to banish Mannequin Cat. Mannequin Cat goes down, face down. You get a swing over the Gigantic, reducing a little bit of the follow-up for next turn. And then moving into main phase 2, you're going to see the Thrust activate due to the Carrot from the previous negate. And we're going to see more than likely a Terraforming here. Okay.
Ooh.
I thought it may have been a tactical talent or something, but this is also very good.
This works too, so. Unicorn just sitting in hand. This guy defense is just ridiculous, man. 3,000 is just overdoing it to me.
3,000 protection from card effects. In the standby phase, we'll get the trigger from Shenga Era to bring out another Cashier from the deck. It's just a lot to deal with. You've got the quick effect, the Scareclaw in hand. There's just so many cards to deal with. It's very troublesome. The banish off of the Theosis Engrave will also prompt an effect. Still a very, very formidable deck to deal with.
Yeah, very. I feel like Elijah's real far ahead right now, but not too far to where he can still lose the match. Gets rid of the field card.
Gonna see smashers here. The banish to get rid of the field spell, which will prompt again the third effect of Cashier Birth. Getting cards so good. Just being able to, every time your opponent or whenever your opponent would activate a spell, banish 3 resources from grave. It's just very, very good.
Overpowerful.
Triggering the Shenga Era to get a zone blocked. Then again, like I say, on resolution, you can use a Cashier Scareclaw to just banish the Theosis and special summon.
Is there much Andreas can do to get out of this situation, or is this almost game over? Okay, well, yeah,
What we'll
thrust
see
phase
here, more
down.
than likely a tactics, potentially trying to get an extender, like I say, thrust. Hoping we'll see what he can maybe do here with the thrust if he chooses to draw or take.
I think draw would be the smart option, wouldn't it? Or let's see what he
Add
does.
of Water Enchantress and discard of Water Enchantress is more than likely going to prompt a banish to. This is probably just deck thinning at this point. Deck thinning is deck winning, of course, trying to see what we can maybe do to draw off of tactical talents. You kind of want to get some of these redundant cards out of the deck. If Andreas has any cards that he's main decking to help deal with a few of these, but he's going to choose to take Shangri-Era.
Hmm? Battle phase. Okay.
He's going to attack, take 2,400, and more than likely go into his own Zeus.
Ah, okay. That's actually a good play. Did not think about that.
But even with the Zeus prompting the send of the board, again, Elijah's hand is just, unicorn, unicorn into birth, birth into another one. It's almost like it just never goes away.
And then you only had enough for one Zeus, so it's gonna be it really just prolonged it. And then he draws. Oh my
Yeah, and a
gosh.
top deck of Theosis doesn't help anything either. Like this is just doing what Cashier does best. Again, especially Unicorn, getting the birth, the drawing of Theosis. You're just gonna get snowballed out again. The Zeus not having another send is also gonna be something to hold him back. Again, potentially being able to Zeus there may have helped, but again, it just looked very good for Elijah in that first instance. I'm probably gonna go ahead and see here game two. Going to main phase, see Andres start with the Banish of Water Enchantress. That will be met with an
Yeah,
Ash.
with the ash.
Again, little dangerous here because you know that he doesn't. He could always draw a Rite of a Remisier. Um, there's thrust and talents all throughout the meta,
Yeah, so that was
but
risky.
again, Water Enchantress is just very powerful. So it's one of those risks where when you realize the reward of what Water Enchantress can get, it's not necessarily bad because if Right would resolve along with the rest of the Brave Engine, then you're staring down Griffin Rider where you wouldn't have a chance to use Ash ever. So
Yeah,
it makes sense.
perfectly makes a lot of sense actually, and I think that was a smart move. A lot of
We're gonna
players
be
wouldn't do
seeing,
it.
yeah, you're gonna be seeing Andres do a lot of just sprite things here with Carrot and Red. He's kind of fortified from hand traps at this moment, or at least one of them. The Send of Angler getting both of the beavers from deck is so good. And then just seeing these cards go into Gigantic to get just more extension to set up a more formidable board. Just, this is what Sprite does. But again, standalone moving into the next meta. This is why I say, you potentially have to see if there's just another archetype you can incorporate into it. You don't know if this is enough. But
Yeah.
we're going to be seeing him do some of the Reaper plays. This is very, very interesting here.
All right, let's see what he does from here. This is very interesting.
This is going to be like a line for a totally awesome, I believe. Yeah,
Yep, totally
this is a
awesome.
totally awesome play with the Reaper. And so
Okay.
you're going to be seeing
With the
a
ash in
negate with
hand.
red and negate, and then the one set with Ash in hand. Andres' hand looks pretty good.
That ash is gonna be very dangerous because he has that thrust. Even told.
Going to see a lead here with the Pressured Planet. More than likely, going to go ahead and see a special summon of the Unicorn. May potentially just prompt an immediate battle phase.
Yeah, the smash over told.
Yeah, again, that's the problem, with like letting certain these cards resolve. Again, it's very tough, and you're going to see smashes here, which will be able to banish. So that's just really good. But again, these are just what the cashier cards do. They just gain so much free advantage. You're going to be able to tribute here and attempt to take. The negate and set will still prompt the tactical or the thrust on his turn.
That's actually a good set. Get enemy control. A
Yeah, we
card
get
that
the
can
enemy
become
controller.
useful.
We're just going to be able to see what Elijah does here at this point. But with the Ash in hand, the thrust will probably be met with the Ash, and after that, I believe we'll probably just see a normal
Uh,
summon of Rise Heart.
Thrust.
This will probably be met with Ash Blossom and
Yes,
Joyce winning.
definitely not risking it. So right now it's a pretty close game.
Again, Andres was able to do a lot with Sprite. When you have the deck go not necessarily uninterrupted, but able to do what it can do, even with the one hand trap that's not on its engine. It can definitely showcase what a lot of what the deck can do. But
So let's see what
again,
Andreas draws. Oh, and he gets a blue.
Sprite Blue,
Wow.
really good. You see a normal of Beaver effect can be able to special summon another Nimble from the deck. Or Grave, sorry.
Gets
Brings
Angler.
out the Angler. Special
Such
summon
a
the blue, will prompt a search. Jet.
looking real good for Andreas.
Special Jet will prompt the search of potentially Gamma Burst.
Yep.
There it is. Yep. And at this point,
I think this.
it's kind of the writings on the wall. I'm more likely going to see an exceed from the two Nimbles into a Mannequin Cat.
Battle phase. Damage step.
And I believe this one will prompt all of the others to gain 1,400, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh wow. Yep.
And again, this should be game, and even if it is not,
That
just
is
setting up
game.
another
wait.
Zeus here may just be enough.
Yeah, I think a Zeus would be enough to finish this one. Oh, using the effect of Mannequin Cat.
We're gonna see the
Oh, yeah.
Terror Trap special summon the Fenrir. Andres probably gonna summon his own Fenrir from the deck. Yep.
Yep.
And if he prompts his Fenrir, then Andres will
Yep.
prompt his own, which will banish his Fenrir. Fenrir for Fenrir, still attack for game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that was a good game too.
Pretty good game too. But again, you're gonna be going up against Cash Tira going first, and from what we've seen from this previous format, even just a Rise Heart is enough to cripple a lot of deck strategies. You can imagine with the Rise Heart being at 1, that there's going to be a lot of cards implemented to potentially protect that Rise Heart. We could be seeing Forbidden Lance come back into the format. We could just be seeing a lot of other potential hand traps or floodgates being incorporated just to ensure that that one Rise Heart does not get capitalized on. So I'm very interested to see what Elijah does here in Game 3.
Yeah, so now it's even harder to take out a Rise Art than it was before when it was more of them.
I mean, when your one boss monster goes from 3 to 1, you got to be a little bit more cautious. So,
all right, so Andreas opens blue, Dark Ruler, Jet, Thrust, and Angler. And Elijah has Birth, Rise Heart, Theosis, Book of Moon, and Prosperity. All right, so they both open pretty
they
decent.
both open actually really good hands. I think depending on what Elijah ends on, it could be more impactful for the Dark Ruler from Andres. But again, Andres also has the Thrust, which we all know is amazing into a Rise Art. That mandatory trigger, just prompting you that free search on your turn, is what's really good. Starting off with this Prosperity, though, from Elijah, we're able to prompt the Pressured Planet, which is more likely going to be able to get us a Unicorn. But, Ogre. I was going to say we may not need the Unicorn here because we have Theosis and Birth already in hand. And the Ogre here will prompt us getting a search for the Trap card, which is the Preparations. Elijah's hand is looking very good, as well as a Book of Moon, which we all know is actually a pretty good card against Sprite.
Really, really good.
Again, just the Theosis into that to special summon Cash Tier Fenrir to search Unicorn. We get the Rise Heart effect, the special summon, and we're more likely going to go into Shanga Era to trigger a Rise Heart to banish one of the Cash Tier cards, banish 3 from our opponent's deck, and lock a zone.
That always feels good.
Banishing again the Big Bang, triggering Kestura 1, Big Bang 2, Aqua Monster Zone. And then again, we'll detach the Ogre with the Big Bang effect and special summon it.
So
And
this
then we're
is
going to see an exceed of the two casters into another Shangri-Ira into an Arise Heart.
all right. There he goes.
Activating Birth and then special summoning Fenrir. And again, at this point, you can just trigger Fenrir. This is all just free advantage. Prompting another birth for the follow-up of next turn in case a Zeus would happen. Setting of preparations and Book of Moon is going to be tough to play through.
Ooh, it's gonna be real tough for him.
I mean, even with the Dark Ruler, the two sets are just very, very powerful from Elijah. So we're going to see again a special of Jet here.
Book does so much against right.
And it's going to be a normal summon of Jet, sorry, which will be immediately left with Book of Moon, prompting the Arise Heart mandatory effect, of course, which is going to attach. I don't know which which extract that is, but it's something good from Prosperity. The
Fossil
Fossil
Warrior.
Warrior. Yep.
Okay.
We're going to immediately see Dark Ruler no more and a chain of preparations, as well as in a chain of Arise Heart. And we're
So
going to go ahead and banish the Jet.
So for those of you who don't know, he used the trap so that he could respond not directly to Dark Ruler with Arise
Yeah,
Heart.
Dark Ruler says you can't respond with monster effects. So, prompting the chain of preparations, he's responding to his own preparation, which is a trap card with the Rise Heart. But again, the mandatory trigger of a Rise Heart will prompt Andres to use Thrust, and Thrust is going to be able to allow him to search his deck for triple tactics talents. Again, we see this commonly a lot. But again, we're going to see what he's going to do here. Andres is going to choose to take a Rise Heart. More than likely going to go for a Zeus play, but we're going to see a chain from preparations from Elijah. Special summoning an Ogre. And with that, we're going to see a birth trigger, resolution of a spell, just to banish 3 from his graveyard. Again, you want to get all the advantage you can here when you know the Zeus is coming.
Zeus is it's gonna be a good Zeus. But he has that burst still sitting in hand.
Lord knows birth is all you need for follow-up.
Yep. Oh, Planet Pop.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Wow. Yeah, that hurt. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah, because the birth will trigger the pressured planet, which will pop the which will pop the Arise Heart, actually. So it
Did Andres
looks like
misplay
Elijah
somewhere,
had
or
everything he needed. He played this beautifully.
yeah. Did Andres misplay with the play he did, or was it just something he couldn't get around?
I just don't really know if there's anything you can do to get around that right there. The birth and the pressured planet. I mean, he's gonna go starter here, and starter's gonna allow him to get the Jet from the deck, and Jet special summon will probably get him. I believe. I don't know if he can kill him, so maybe it could be SC Smashers or Double Cross. And we see a special blue gonna go ahead and get one of the other ones.
Yeah, this is what
Killer.
happens when you have two top level players play a back and forth game. You know, a lot of smart plays. You can't miss any play that you have because it'll cost you the game. You have to see every play. And the Phoenix,
We're going to see Phoenix here. Phoenix discarding the Angler to pop Birth. And then this will prompt the Angler to trigger to summon 2 of the Nimbles from the deck.
wow, I'm loving this right here. Back and forth game. Very good plays.
Probably going to see a summon of Gigantic. But again, I don't really know what I'm excited to see what Andres does here. Again, this doesn't look like the best position to be in. So even with the special summon of Red here, we're still in a tight spot.
Yeah, he's still, you know, that's why Cash is such a strong deck. Even when you think you have the advantage, you don't.
It's a deck where it almost just punishes your opponent for playing. If you hand trap me, I will take advantage from you. If I play, it takes your advantage. Deck is just very strong. We're gonna
Consistent.
see Exceed Summon. I can't remember the name of this Exceed, but I know he's gonna be able to target and banish the Unicorn. This is the Soul
Soul
Sweeper,
Sweeper.
which, like I said, this one is gonna be able to target and banish the Unicorn. Again, Elijah, I guess, thinking here. Oh, Andres is thinking. I guess on what could potentially be done here. Again, this is a very tight spot. Even with that, like I said, that birth in hand, this is going to be extremely hard to follow up from. I'm going to be able to see Gigantic swing over the Ogre.
He did a great job
On
of
the
clearing
main
the
phase
board.
two. We're going to go ahead and activate the Smashers to banish the Shangri-Era. And with that, we're going to see a pass turn.
Uh, he draws
He's going to be
imperm
able
for
to use
that.
the Fossil Warrior to banish, pop Gigantic,
Jesus Christ.
activate another birth.
That's it. That's all it takes.
Carrot, yeah, Carrot not being able to tribute anything is just going to prompt a birthday special summon, and the snowball again would continue. So, just another great showcasing of what Kashtira can do from Elijah Green. Again, this deck is far from dead, and you can just actually just see the power packed within a lot of these just
Yeah.
cards, what they can do, how
That
strong
was
birth.
a really good game too.
Let's not discount Andres. I think he piloted Sprite very, very well. He showcased a lot of what the deck can do, and just for people out there who are looking to play this deck, you've got a little bit of insight of
Yeah.
all the possibilities. So I think
Making
this is a
sure.
very good matchup between two very good players, and ultimately this I wouldn't say came down to a dice roll, but going first clearly had the advantages for both players in each game, and Elijah Green was able to capitalize on everything that Cashier could do, going first, setting up an amazing board and playing through Dark Ruler. And I think Andres did a very good job navigating the board. So just a very, very skillful matchup, two high caliber players, and this is what Yu-Gi-Oh is all about.
Yes, very fun match to watch. I mean, if you guys should come back and watch this gameplay, you learn a lot from it. Andreas played Sprite as good as you could play it. I mean, he just ran up against a very good cash player. He did a good job of going back and forth. It wasn't a blowout. He showed that Sprite can hang with Cash a little bit. Cash just a little bit better. Um, with the right build, though, anything's possible.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what both of these players do. We're going to be looking forward to see more of Elijah Green through the rest of this tournament. Again, he's going to be moving on, advancing, so we'll be able to see more opponents he plays. We've already seen a few spicy lists from this tournament of power, and you certainly can't count Andres out. Again, we look forward to seeing him at more Florida events and at nationals upcoming as well. So more is expected from both of these great players, and again, you all just stay tuned for the rest of the tournament of power. We're going to be going over a lot more features.
All right, y'all. So Yu-Gi-Oh! Sports Center, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Process, checking out Tino and Roberto. Y'all have a good night and get ready for round two will be coming up, and a couple more round one matches will be coming up too. And Tino himself will be playing against Walter Jewell, another top player. So look forward to that coming soon, guys. Tino will be showing us one of his spicy decks.
All right, take care.
All right.